Last night, as a part of NXT Deadline, NXT crowned its latest Iron Survivor winners, one being Obafemi and the other being Giulia. What's going on, everybody? My name is Jose Ramos Jr. Welcome back to another video where we will discuss the outcome and the immediate aftermath of NXT Deadline. Starting with the Iron Survivor matchups, of course, we saw that Giulia had won in what I thought was the match of the night. The Iron Survivor for the women's division, I thought, delivered. A lot of expectations were high in regards to this matchup, especially due to those who were involved. We had Zarya, Stephanie Vaquer, Giulia, Ren Sinclair, as well as Sol Ruca, and they all delivered a fun matchup here. I'm thinking when I predicted this matchup, obviously, if you've seen the prediction video, I had selected Stephanie Vaquer as the winner. I thought we were going to go in another direction here because Giulia had already a match against Roxanne Perez, but I'm totally cool with the decision to go with Giulia. I think it works. I think it rocks, especially given that she's had that matchup against Perez, and with the interference of Cora Jade, she's probably going to want to have a fair shot in this matchup. It should be a great matchup. We know it's coming at NXT New Year's Evil, but I thought overall it was match of the night. As for the men's Iron Survivor matchup, Obafemi comes out and completely dominates the field. We kind of had an idea it would be Obafemi following the attacks of Eddie Thorpe. We saw the attack occur on NXT. It wasn't revealed who it was, but it was revealed at Deadline that Obafemi would be the replacement for Eddie Thorpe. And if you ask me, I think it's a real good chance that he was also the individual who had attacked Eddie Thorpe. Obafemi, though, on a path of destruction. He was a reigning North American champion for the majority of 2024, and there really wasn't much for him to do in terms of that division. It was time for him to move up to the main event scene, and apparently now he's going to be challenging the NXT champion, Trick Williams. And speaking of Trick Williams, he defeated Ridge Holland, successfully retaining his NXT championship in what I thought was an okay matchup. I didn't think it was Trick Williams' best matchup. For the point of this PLE, for me, it doesn't really stand out. This was one of those matches, one of those feuds that was a filler. It gets one star to the next star. And I have nothing against Ridge Holland, but for me personally, this match wasn't the one I was looking forward to the most, and it's certainly one that I wouldn't write home about. Especially when you have a card with the Iron Survivor matches. You had a solid NXT Underground match between Lola Vice and Jada Parker, and a tag team title match that I thought over-delivered. Axiom and Nathan Frazer successfully defeat the No Quarter Catch crew, and I thought that was a great matchup. There was a point in being, up until we got to the women's Iron Survivor match, where I thought the tag team title match was my favorite match. High octane offense, a lot of drama involving the injuries sustained by Nathan Frazer in that first matchup, in the Iron Survivor matchup, and a big part of me was thinking, wow, we're going to see some new tag team champions. I thought for sure they were going to pull the trigger on Tavion Heights and on Miles Bourne, and that wasn't the case. They actually had Nathan Frazer and Axiom pulling out the win. They come out with a victory, again, successfully defending those titles. It's curious to see how much longer this title reign is going to work. We've seen a lot of friction between the two, a little bit of tension between the teammates, and now, especially because without me noticing, it's been a year that they've kind of been intertwined with one another. There was a note on commentary that they had the matchup at last year's Deadline that would lead to the eventual partnership, and now as the tag team champions, for the second time, I might add. I like to see where we're going with this. Who will be dethroning the tag team champions? We saw OTM make an appearance during the matchup, so there's still a heightened level of drama within the division that is the tag team division. But overall, I thought it was a decent show. I thought the Iron Survivor matchups were fun. I thought they delivered. Love the push that we've been seeing from Javon Evans. Curious to see where we go with Wes Lee now, especially because he had a lot of momentum leading into this matchup. But in terms of the matchup itself, I think he became an afterthought when you saw the acrobatics of a Javon Evans. You saw the drama that was Ethan Page, and was he going to be able to regain an opportunity for the NXT Championship? And of course, Obafemi, the ruler of NXT, emerges victorious. We move forward. Obviously, the next time we're going to see a title match opportunity here, New Year's Evil, we'll see Trick Williams defend the title against Obafemi. We'll see Roxanne Perez versus Giulia. I think it's pretty clear that at least one of those titles will be changing hands. It's just a matter of who. Will they pull the trigger on Obafemi now? Will they allow Giulia to win the championship and possibly set up a main roster debut for Roxanne Perez, I don't know. But overall, NXT Deadline, I thought was an okay show. I didn't think it was the greatest show that they've produced. I thought it was a fun show for what it was, and it set in motion some new storylines that we can be going forward in NXT. But I want to hear from you guys. What are some of your thoughts and opinions in regards to NXT Deadline? What are your thoughts on the NXT Iron Survivor winners, and who do you think will win a championship come NXT New Year's Eve? Well, of course, my name is Jose Ramos Jr. Thank you for joining me in this video. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and watch these other videos here on the channel as well. Until next time, we'll see you then.